What is going on, my YouTube friends, my Patreon friends, my internet friends? It's really bright in here today. I kind of vibe with it though. A little natural lighting. I'm gonna enjoy it, y'all. It makes me look real pasty and washed out, but that's fine. Our friend McFlyJP, another great YouTube creator, reactor. I'm not gonna stumble over my words like this all day, I promise. Requested that I react to Frank Ocean, Pink plus White. And he said that he's got lots of songs from Frank Ocean that he loves, but this one in particular, he said there's another vocalist on, and he wants me to guess who it is. And I can't even begin to tell y'all how bad I am at that, but I'm going to do my best. So I'll have the link to this video and to McFlyJP's channel in the description box down below. I would love if y'all are checking them both out. McFly's got some really interesting takes as like a musician and with his background and his degree from university, I want to say, in music. And really interesting stuff, man. Check them out. Let me pull this up. And let's do this.
Yeah.
Nice, okay.
Yeah. That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes. Halfway on a slow move. It's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land. So I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined. Just the same way you showed me.
There's a lot going on here. Like it's simple, but it's very clean and very precise. If I was a betting man, if it's a real drummer playing a drum kit, I think they got like a 3 mic setup. So kick, snare, and overhead is basically what you would do. And then you would probably put the overhead like behind the drummer's shoulder or kind of like off center so you get some of the toms still. But you need it to be in phase with the snare drum so you still get like a center image. Otherwise, it'll feel like it's leaning one way or another just kind of naturally. But it's like they're very dry, but very full and punchy still. And it does feel like there's space to it. That's why I feel like it's like a room mic or an overhead mic that's picking up like the majority of it. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, but if I was, that's what I would be betting on. The piano line's real nice, but this bass is taking us for a walk, y'all. I could listen to bass like this all day.
You showed me love, glory from above, regardless, dear. It's all downhill from here. In the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nose dive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof. Just the same way you showed me. You showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me.
That section there, they've done that. I think that's the 3rd time they've done that, where you get this huge reverb sound on the vocal. And it's interesting, man, because it doesn't get in the way of it. So like what typically will happen is if you mix in reverb on top of like a instrument, like a vocal or a snare drum or a guitar or piano, it'll make it feel like it pushes back into the room. You start getting this 3-dimensional feel where it's like actually has space. But if you add too much of it, not saying this is too much, but if you add a lot of it, it'll start moving it back in the mix and you don't get as much clarity out of it. So there's a couple ways you could address that. Pre-delay will help. So what happens is like when the transient starts and triggers the reverb, you can time it. Like you can do 10 seconds or 10 milliseconds, 15 up to 50. You can do as far as you want. And there's an actual break like from when the transient starts and then the reverb starts. So that's one way to help it. Another way is to trigger it from like a secondary like cue. So the Andy Wallace thing with the snare drum is you duplicate your snare drum, you run it in pre-fader so you can have the volume of the duplicated snare drum all the way at the bottom. But since it's pre-fader, you can still route it to the effects. So you have your natural, like your source that you actually hear and the reverb being triggered from something else. So what's nice about that is you can dramatically EQ it, you compress it, or do whatever you want, and it's not going to affect that original take, right? So you could do that with a vocal as well. There's a few other ways you can accomplish it too. Those are the big ones that I do, at least. And I'm curious if they're doing something like that. There's definitely something automated. Maybe they just cut that section out, moved it down, put as much reverb on it as they could for that moment before it got like too washed out. But it's a nice touch, man. It kind of brings like this separate space into the moment, right? They're already throwing these new instruments at us. We get acoustic guitar, we get birds flying, we get it sounded like a moog there for a second. They just kind of come in and kind of come out, not at random, but like kind of randomly throughout this piece, and it's just putting you in a new space. And that vocal thing is doing the same thing, right?
You showed me love, glory from above, regard here. It's all downhill from here. Real life, remember how it was. I'm G, Michael Jackson, all this shit. Say what up to the shoe. Say what up to Benny. Say what up to life and mortality.
I got my suspicions, but I'm gonna need some just of that vocal by itself to confirm them.
Still in granny six. Take it easy. Give me some sweet. Bitch, I might like immortality. This is life and mortality.
No, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And now I'm gonna be self-conscious if I get it wrong. Yeah, those birds are going on like throughout that video, which was it was a real nice touch, man. Like I say, it just takes you into like into another space. And it's like a nice way of doing that. You could do it with delays. Becomes very like psychedelic if you have like a quarter note delay or a dotted quarter note or a half note. But that like room sound is really cool. Tell me, was it Queen Bee? Was it Queen Bee singing some harmonies in there? That's what it sounded like to me in this section.
Say what up to life and mortality.
She got a voice, man. She got a voice. Can you imagine being able to call up Beyonce and be like, "Hey, can you sing some backing vocals for me on this track?" I need more famous friends. I'm just playing, man. This is a cool track. I like this one. I'll have the link to it in the description box, y'all. Please give it another review. Check it out. Give it some more comment love. And check out my boy, McFly JP. If I'm not awkwarding you out of this. But dude's a great creator, man. Very, very kind gentleman. And I will see y'all on the next one.